Hey everyone. Recently I've been playing at the tournament in Hungary, in Budapest. It's one of those IM round robins. In the end I've had 4.5 out of 9, which was basically -1 elo, so normal game, nothing fancy. In the first round I was paired as black against a grandmaster from Hungary. 2320 was his elo. And we played the Rossolimo line. I want to share with you what was the story behind this game. So he started d4 and yeah, Rossolimo. I played my usual g6 and c3 is usually a first move for the line with rook e1, but here my opponent went with e5. So we are playing kind of like, I don't know, Alekhine line here. Yeah, d4 and cd. I think there are now many lines possible. One of them is d6. I think knight c7 is also possible. I went for just halfy castle. Yeah, knight c3. And now this is the main line is knight c7 here. And I kind of knew this, but I didn't want to go into this line with there is this knight c7, bishop f4, knight b5, knight b5. Yeah, and now a6, knight c3, and then d6, ed6. There's bishop g4, an interesting move, but ed6 probably more normal. Probably equal position, but not my style exactly. So I went for probably the worst option, but knight c3 takes bc3, d6. This is the kind of position which I like to play with the bishop g7 against those pawns. So the pawns are important here. And I will play bishop g4, I will play bishop to b7, maybe I will prepare e5 at some point. This is my possible pawn ledger. He played rook e1, so he's preparing some pressure on the e-line. Bishop g4 was a natural move for me to play. And a4 was an interesting move because he's pressing with the bishop a3 idea. And I was thinking here for a while, and this is the moment where I want to share you a story. So when I was on my travel to Hungary for this tournament, so one day before this game, I took one book with me, which was the Ivan Sokolov's Middle Game Strategies. Ivan Sokolov, by the way, is one of those, he's the coach of the Uzbekistan team who just recently won the Olympiad. So yeah, great coach. And there was a big chapter on exchange sacrifices. And I really was studying exchange sacrifices quite a lot, and just before the tournament as well. So I was like trying to see when the exchange sacrifices are important and what are the rules behind them, when to spot them. So it's good that I'm training, but sometimes just before the game, it influenced me too much. So here in this position, I was already looking at this line which happened in the game, which was connected with the idea of sacrificing an exchange. And the idea was like this: rook ac8, bishop, h3. I could still probably escape from this idea by playing bishop f5, but by playing bishop takes f3. But I was really focused on this idea of playing queen f4, and after taking bishop e7, taking on c3 now, so sacrificing an exchange like this. And let me go back a few moves just to show you what was the alternative. The alternatives was probably queen d5 was the best move. Queen d5, and now if bishop a3, I can capture on f3, but I can also play like this and focus on this pawn. Should be good for me. Another option was to play rook fe8 instead of queen d5, and then h3, take, and e6, rook b1, queen d5 should be more or less equal. Okay, so instead I went for this exchange sacrifice. And what is funny is that actually wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't fully correct, but for the humans, even for the white perspective, it wasn't easy to play. But what's worse, it was difficult for me to play. So it was important for me to understand some nuances, because I saw that there are quite some threats in this position. This is a threat, even this is a threat, so probably should hide my king at some point. And immediately after this move, the point was to, so here white plays with a tempo. He's attacking my rook, and I don't want to exchange the rooks, obviously, because I'm material down. And if I go here, which happened in the game, then the problem is that after queen e2, so preparing for the queen to go into the last rank, I don't have my idea of queen bishop h3 because this is hanging. So I should retreat somewhere else. And after rook a3, actually, I even checked with my engine after analyzing my manual, because manual I couldn't find actually what is the right weight for white to play. And even at some point, engine suggested basically repeating, which shows some potential in this position. Another idea could be with queen e2. Yeah, with queen e2 I have this line with bishop h3, and then I have some compensation here. Yeah, instead I allowed queen e2, and now after bishop d6, unfortunately knight e5 is coming in this order, so I'm lost here. What's worse is that even after this line there's g3, and my queen doesn't have a good place to go, because everywhere there is a fork of the knight, so the game was over like this. So only 28 moves, and not the best start of the tournament, which is unfortunate, because I think in the opening I've had a good position. So I was probably trying to be too creative with this exchange sacrifice. Overall, my creativity went well in this tournament. It allowed me to win some games, but also it allowed me to lose some games. So stay tuned. I will share some other games with you. That was the first round against a Grandmaster. So not the biggest problem in the world to lose against a Grandmaster, but still you would like to win sometimes. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.